Hello everyone and welcome to this online hiragana lesson. Today we'll be learning about our S hiragana and our Z hiragana. Our first hiragana is sa, sa. We start out with a line going from left to right and curving upward. Then we have a second line coming from top to bottom and left to right that intersects with our first line. And finally, we draw a curve that starts at the bottom left. You may notice that our handwritten sa and our computer-written sa look a little bit different. Again, think of ki from our last lesson. There's a stylization difference, but you should be able to recognize both of these as the same character when you see them. Our next hiragana is shi, shi. And this is just one stroke. We come from top to bottom and then we loop back up almost halfway. Next is su, su. To write this one, we start with a curved horizontal line going from left to right. Then we draw a line that comes down and intersects with our first line, loops back around on itself, and then curves a little bit to the left. And next is se, se. To start out writing this one, we draw a long horizontal line from left to right. We have a short vertical line near the right end of our first line that comes down from top to bottom and intersects with it. Then we draw another stroke near the left of our first line that comes down, intersects with our first line, and then curves out to the right. And our last S hiragana is so, so. And this is all one stroke. We start at the top, we go from left to right, then we come down from right to left, go back across from left to right in a longer stroke, and then we come down and curve in and out. So now that we've learned our S hiragana, we're going to go over our Z hiragana. And these are formed by just taking our S hiragana and putting a dakuten or nigori, the diacritic we learned about in our last lesson, up on the upper right side of our S hiragana. So our first Z hiragana is za. And as you can see, that's just sa with our dakuten at the upper right. Za. Next is ji, ji. Zu, zu. Ze, ze. And our last Z hiragana is zo, zo. Now that we've gone through this lesson's hiragana, it's time for spelling practice. So in this spelling practice, we're going to be using the hiragana that we learned in this lesson, and we're also going to be using the hiragana we learned in the previous two lessons. As always, if you need to pause or stop and go over the hiragana we've learned, go ahead and do that. And without further ado, we'll begin. Our first word is zo, which means elephant. Zo. And we write this one using zo and u. Zo. Our next word is sushi. Sushi. And for this one, we use su and shi. Sushi. Sake. Sake. We write this using sa and ke, sake. And our last word for the day is kaze, which means wind. Kaze. Ka and ze, kaze. Okay, everyone, that's it for today. If you'd like to practice these hiragana on your own, as always, you can use the link in the description to get to some hiragana writing practice sheets. And I'll see you in the next lesson. Ja, mata.